I'm normal. I'm a regular kid. I'm normal. I'm a regular kid. I'm normal. I'm I'm a normal kid.
How are you doing? Where are you at currently?
I am shooting a movie in Portland.
Portland. Okay. So you're on a break right now or whatnot?
Yeah, I have the day off.
Okay. Are you doing anything out there? Is there any like restriction wise? Can you do even anything out in Portland?
We've been going out a little bit, seeing the city, but not like doing anything crazy. We can't see anybody.
Uh-huh.
We can't have any visitors. It's sort of strict. We are getting tested like every other day.
Really?
So
Yeah. What is it like now to be on set during these restrictions? Is it like
weird.
really meticulous with everything?
Yes, it's weird because obviously sets are usually chaotic in a good way,
Yeah.
and you're allowed to like talk to anybody and move wherever you want, but it's very like there's zones and all this stuff to get used to. It's weird.
Well, I mean, at least you're going through it. Hey, at least the good part is you get to make films right now. You know, it could be a lot worse
Yeah,
than that,
very true.
so
For
it's
sure.
it's worth the thing. Well, it's cool to connect. I connected with you a year ago. I remember meeting you. I interviewed you at the premiere of Low Tide out in
Wow.
LA. We spoke, and it was you, Kian, and Alex, and the whole crew's out there. So that was a good time.
Good group of guys.
Yep.
That's fun.
You know, this movie was really cool. The first thing like came to mind before I even like saw it or anything, like, oh, is this like a modern Teen Wolf and stuff? But it was nothing like that. It was like a legitimate drama about a real condition out there. When you read the script initially, how did you feel about the character? And what did you feel for the character reading that movie script? And what was your kind of initial reaction to it?
I was really interested in him, and I sort of he's not perfect, which I loved. He's angry in the beginning, and he hates himself, and therefore he hates everyone around him because they look at him different and they treat him differently. And he just wants to be a normal person. That's all he wants. Um, and so I really understood his anger, um, and that made me happy when he sort of became comfortable with who he was throughout the story, and when he finally came to terms with the person that he was, and that he wasn't able to change it, but he could change his outlook on life, and that's what really drew me to him and the story.
You know, that's interesting to say because it's everything in life is kind of about perspectives. You know, you can make the best of a situation or kind of dwell on the negatives. And, you know, this relates to, I think, at all points of our lives, being in high school or middle school, you know, yeah, not being the cool kid or kind of being maybe bullied by the cool apparent kids. We all kind of face that at some points in our lives. And it kind of made me go back and remember kind of my middle school days and high school too. And it's like, you don't have to have a, you know, in a sense, this character has, you know, the condition and all, but we all kind of feel that at some points in our lives. Did you even remember any points of your life kind of where you directly related to the character, where you could pick apart those certain points when you were growing up?
Yeah. Yeah, Martin Kretschke, the director, always says that everyone has their fur, and everyone has to find that fur and embrace it. And for me, I guess it's just being an actor, because most of my life I've um, I've been on sets working with people way older than me, and I never experienced high school. I never went to school, and um, I do school online, but I definitely have a unique childhood. Um, and I mean, I'm very lucky to live this childhood, but it's different, just like Paul's is.
Mm-hmm.
So I, I I sort of understand his feeling of being an outcast. Because anytime people some, people treat you differently depending on who you are. People treat him differently because of the way he looks. And sometimes people treat me differently because of what I've done throughout my life, and the opportunities that I've gotten. So you have to be aware of that. I think everybody's aware of sometimes too aware of what people think. And this character sort of, or this story in general hopefully it teaches people, and it taught me to accept that and, not care what other people are thinking in their heads.
Right. That's a fascinating thing because, like, I didn't grow up with in a sense, a spotlight or people talking about you that you don't know or writing things online about you. How do you kind of navigate life kind of growing up? Obviously you grew up as a child in Philadelphia, and then you guys kind of moved cross country to LA, and this whole different life hits you really quick in a sense. How do you kind of navigate it? And you seem very grounded. I've met you in person and we've talked, and you're definitely, you wouldn't have that, Hollywood flair or whatever to you, but how do you kind of stay grounded and, keep people that are there for you in your real life, that have your back no matter what, not just because, you might be having success or not? How do you kind of approach that since even a younger age, growing up and kind of living that, having that spotlight in a sense, but yet maintaining this grounded sense about yourself?
I think that's the key, is to have people around you that love you and that you love. I'm lucky I have my mom, and I have a great group of people around me. I've had the same best friend for like 9 years now, and he could care less about what job I'm doing and whatever. But it's about keeping. I mean, that's how you stay grounded, is keeping people around you that, care about you and know you. And I think that's the key. Otherwise, if you're surrounded by people who, whatever, only want to be around you because of what you do or whatever, it sort of becomes hard to stay grounded, and you'll definitely have a different outlook on life. And some people will, sometimes it inflates your ego, or sometimes it drives people crazy. But yeah, it's all about having good friends and good people.
Yeah, you're lucky in that way. And you're lucky, and it's great that you have that perspective, because it's easy to be swayed, in this industry. And I come from Chicago originally, and, just coming to LA, it's a whole different beast. It's a different world, different people in so many ways. And it's like, you always have to remind in the back of your mind, just like, I'm just a person. No matter what I do, it doesn't define who I am and my interests and hobbies and all these things, at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, you're not defined by what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to ask you some interesting thing about your career is that you kind of had this parallel with Chris Evans. You start out early on playing his younger version of him, then you played his son, obviously in Defending Jacob, and then you guys were together in Knives Out. Do you ever kind of had conversations with Chris, how your careers kind of keep on intertwining together, and you guys keep on, every few movies or something, keep on coming together again? Because I think it's super cool.
Well, it's more my career's intertwined with his rather than his being with mine. It's like, no, it's weird. It's interesting, but I mean, I'm lucky that it's him of all people. He happens to be a good, sweet person. Besides being a very successful and talented actor, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know. It might be a giant coincidence, or maybe I look a little bit like him. Hopefully.
Maybe that's where it started, and when you played a younger version of him. So, the funny, you've done a lot of different projects in a sense, and you've definitely done a lot of the horror genre. I love The Ledge, obviously It. I was wondering, like, are you drawn to the kind of the genre? Do you like horror films? I know we're kind of in Halloween season now, or is that also kind of a coincidence, just project wise, or are you a fan of kind of horror and thrillers and sense in your everyday life?
To be honest, I thought before that I was into horror, and after I did it, I was like, oh, I like horror now. I appreciate it. But now that it's Halloween, and I see all these trailers for scary movies, my mom's trying to get me to watch horror films. I kind of realize again that I'm too chicken for any of it. So I'm not necessarily attracted to the genre. I just happen to do it, and because it's a very special story, and I think mainly it was about the relationship with all of the kids, and I think that's what made that movie special for me. And then with Lodge, it was something similar, just an interesting sort of suspenseful story. So it's not necessarily the genre, but more of the individual characters and stories. And yeah.
Do you kind of maintain friendships? Because you were also fortunate, obviously, to work, especially on it, with your peers, kind of kids, and even on the low tide, kind of your age group in a sense, and not being around adults. Do you guys still stay in touch? Do you have friendships? I mean, developed working on these films. What is it kind of like now after it is already completed? You guys still stay in touch and hang out?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we on it. That was one of the first projects I did with kids my age, and it was like summer camp. It was the most amazing, unforgettable experience, and we're all best friends, and we're constantly talking. And I'm very lucky for that experience. And there's something about being on set. You can't replicate that experience, just the relationships that you build. And I mean, they don't last too long. That they're like 4 or 3 months shoots, but you are stuck together. The crew and the cast, you it's just like rapid chemistry. Stuck with each other, and you have to like each other. And then you can't. It's hard to forget about that. It's hard to move on to the next project, but you do. But then I've been lucky where I've gotten to work with some amazing people, and I definitely stay in touch with people that sort of become your family really quickly and suddenly, and it doesn't really make sense, and it's hard to. I think life is much slower than on a set, and set sort of speeds that process up. And within the first day, all of the kids from it, we were all like, we felt like we had known each other for years. So I think it's a special thing.
You've kind of grown up, in front of our eyes in a sense in different films, but now as you kind of get older in a sense, what are some things you want to accomplish in life? Maybe aside even from like, being in films and stuff, do you have any kind of individual personal goals that you want to achieve? And now that, you're maturing as a person too, that you would like to do and accomplish in life?
Um, that's a good question. I honestly don't think about that much. Um, I might want to go to college,
Okay.
but even then, if I were to go to college, I think I would go for film, because film sort of my life revolves around it, obviously, and it's something that I'm lucky to be in the middle of it, but I'm also lucky to be actually passionate about it. Um, so I have my goals in mind when it comes to being an actor, and also hopefully being a director one day. For personal goals, I, yeah, other than going to school, I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out when I'm older, and
Well,
I'll
that's
have.
part of growing up.
Yeah.
It's like if you go to school, then that thing is studying film. That could change also things. Maybe you would want to become a filmmaker, down the road too, in that sense too. So that could be a fun, cool experience.
Yeah, for sure. Things
And
change.
totally. And wanted to wrap it up. What are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do when I know you're busy, and that's good to have work and always be on set, but what are some things like offset when you're not working? What do you like to enjoy doing?
I I love to watch movies. My favorite thing right now is Criterion Channel.
Okay.
I've been watching every movie that I've wanted to watch, like throughout my life, and every movie that people have told me to watch through quarantine. It's been great for that. And I like to write. I like to play basketball. I like to draw. Yeah, I like to hang with my friends.
Any movie recommendation? Anything I should see that you really liked lately that stood out to you that you really enjoyed?
I watched this Taiwanese movie called Rebels of the Neon God recently.
Okay.
And it was awesome. It threw me for a loop. It was really great. And then I just watched, last night I watched Mother, the Bong Joon-ho movie. It was great, of course. Yeah, those are my.
Hey, I'll check them out. I appreciate the recommendation. I always like something new and different. Definitely, that's something I'll check out for sure. Hey, awesome job. I really enjoy this, Phil. I mean, I enjoy most of your work that you do. So looking forward to see what's next, what you're shooting in Portland. Hopefully we'll get to see that soon. And most importantly, stay safe and healthy during this time to you and your family. And
Thank you so much.
Catch up and see each other again.
I appreciate it. Nice talking to you.
You too, Jaeden. Take care.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Yeah. Bye.
No more fairy tales. No more make-believe.
This is pretty much all my fault.
So, what do we do now?